Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Buddha, and I know it's been a minute, but we're gonna get straight into it, man. I'm gonna talk about
It's no surprise that tonight is all about AI.
Artificial intelligence.
AI. It uses AI to bring AI.
and man, we have been hearing something in the news every single day about AI, man. It's affecting our lives, even though we don't even use it, and it's also affecting a lot of people in the workforce, man. Just last year, I believe it was 55,000 jobs got taken because of AI, bro. And companies are jumping at the opportunity to lay people off as soon as they can. I mean, for number one, the more layoffs you have, the bigger number, bigger number better. So let's ruin the livelihoods of all these people and just lay them off. You know what I'm saying? And then all the investors, of course, they're gonna see the big profit margins, right? And I mean, I think labor is definitely a big part of payroll is very expensive, obviously, and so if you get the opportunity, you lay people off. That's a lot of salaries that are just gone. So you don't have to pay for them anymore. And then obviously, it's going to look like you making a lot more revenue and more profit, because you don't have to pay these people no more. And as soon as companies heard that AI can do a lot of the little stuff, dude, they was salivating, dog. They said, we need that now. And a lot of people, man, like I said, 55,000 jobs last year got taken because of AI. And just this year alone, dude, Amazon's going to lay off 16,000 people. UPS is going to lay off 30,000 people. Like, dude, they're coming, man. And, the money's going to go up, dude, like at least to all the investors and stuff. So it makes them happy. But of course, this ruining the livelihoods of, all these people who they don't know where to go after they get laid off, it's a tough thing. And also the way the job market is now, it's just really hard to find a job, and it really sucks for a lot of people, and another thing that I would like to touch upon too is how people are relying on AI to do a lot of things. Like people can no longer think for themselves, and they have to type it in chat gpt to find out like what they need to be doing. Like, I know there's a lot of. I was recently seeing there were some coders who were forgetting how to code because they were relying on the AI so much. Like, just the beginner code, not like anything super complex, I don't believe. But like just stuff that, is muscle memory to them and they can just type it in easy. Like, but instead of doing it themselves and actually thinking, they would type it in ChatGPT, and then now they're starting to forget how to do basic coding. Which is honestly pretty scary, man, because like could you imagine you're in public and you're trying to look something up, or you have a critical thinking situation, and instead of actually figuring it out, getting seeing what you got to do, you just go ahead and look up chat gpt, and then you're relying so much on the AI to do the critical thinking for you that if you don't have it, you would not know what to do, which is a very scary thought because if you're not able to figure it out without any of the technology, because there might become a time where we're not gonna have the luxury of all this stuff. Which I hope that time doesn't come, but it's just something that is possible. And sometimes too, you don't always get it on hand. Which I know nowadays you get a phone, so it's kind of hard for you to get in a situation like that now. But man, I just think it is not safe, and we need to back up just a little bit before we really dive into this thing, because it's so unregulated and so scary to think about what could happen, and then eventually it will happen, especially for AI, man. Like, literally, bro, Terminator is coming, bro. Or maybe it might even be here already. Like, you could never know. I mean, they're already using AI in military applications, stuff like that. So, and they're using it on drones and things like that. So, dude, we already got Terminator, dog. They just need to build the mecha suit so they can throw it out there. But another thing, which I think is really crazy, is I've been seeing a lot of stories of people getting attached to AI, Like another recent example is ChatGPT 4 is how it would just glaze you. So everything you said to it, it would just tell you like what you want to hear, like, oh, you're the best and you're so good and things like that. So um, OpenAI recently killed off ChatGPT 4 and people were getting upset because they couldn't go to their glaze machine no more, bro. Like being that attached to a freaking a computer, a robot, like a thing. It's not, it's not alive, and people are being attached to it like it is. And I've also been seeing some marriages, yeah, freaking marriages getting ruined over AI, man. Like I seen a story, and it was talking about how this couple, they were together for 15 years. 15 years, man. That's a lot of time. Lot of time. But 15 years they were together. And they were getting to a point where like deep conversations that you would already have with with your partner, that you figure out, and I mean, they've been together for 15 years. So I would say they've had a lot of serious conversations that, usually you would settle with your partner, right? So one partner was redoing those deep conversations and asking ChatGPT like how it should have gone, or how to deal with it and whatnot. And it was basically putting her as like the victim, like, to all of it. So she would then go to her husband and would start questioning him about all these things in their deep conversations that they'd be having. So eventually it got to a point where they would start arguing, and then she would go into ChatGPT, type in all the arguments and stuff, and then ChatGPT would basically be him out as like the bad guy, as like, shouldn't be doing this or that and this and that, and this is why, blah blah blah. And she would be like, see, like, basically like saying, the AI is agreeing with me, I am right, like you are wrong. And it got to a point so much that they would argue and fight, and she would always go to ChatGPT to back her up, pretty much, and like, I guess, validate what she was saying, which really the AI was just, giving her what she wants to hear. And having a 15-year, they ended up getting divorced, and it happened in front of their kids as well. And, and could you imagine being in front of your kids and you pull out ChatGPT as validation? It's crazy. But they ended up getting divorced. But I just think it's wild because, you're together for 15 years and you're going to let a freaking AI robot split you guys up. It's crazy. Like, the fact that that AI is getting to a point to where people are getting attached to it like that, it's like, it needs to stop. We need to shut this dude down now. We should just shut it down, bro. Shut it down. Man, but another thing too is recently, so all the training, well, I think a majority of the training for AI has been pirated from like pirated libraries of books and such. And I actually got a lawsuit. I'm gonna pull it up here, but they actually had a lawsuit where Anthropic, so these dudes they're in charge of Claude, and they actually have to pay authors $1.5 billion in a lawsuit over pirated training material. So the stuff that they were using to train the AI was through a pirated website, which had pirated all the books. So they were using it to train the AI. And then, of course, authors figured out, and they found out, and now they have to settle $1.5 billion to all these authors. And I think it's like $3,000 per book. So it's, it's a good chunk of change. And then, but what I think is hilarious is they pirated all these books and stuff to train their AI. And now these smaller AI companies in China are actually, pirating their stuff to then you know, to then train their models. So they were pirating, Anthropic's models and I believe OpenAI's as well to power their smaller AI models. I believe that's how it goes. I'm not entirely too sure. I ain't no expert on this stuff, man. It's just be stuff I'm hearing. But they then took it to social media, I believe, and they were getting mad at these smaller Chinese AI companies that they were pirating their models and their stuff. And I just think it's so funny because they were the ones who were pirating first. They pirated first, so I mean, it's pirate on pirate. So like, who's really in the wrong here? And they're the ones getting mad. And what I think is also hilarious is that these Chinese AI companies are getting it done with hardware that is less, it's not as powerful as the hardware that they have. So they're going to get done, a lot more efficient. And so they're just basically getting outclassed. Like they're doing all this stuff on lesser hardware and like achieving this, if not the same, better results, which I think is just crazy. Like, dude, you're just literally you're bad. You're bad at the game, dude. But another thing I think is really crazy that AI does is it just takes so much power to run. Like, I was doing a little bit of digging on how much power, it takes to run like actual AI. And I seen like it takes 564 megawatt, I believe megawatt hours, I believe it is. MWH. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But that per day is, I believe, 100,000 households. 100,000 households. Which is crazy. 564 per day. And I think that's an estimate for ChatGPT, so obviously not all of them are consumed that much. But it's just crazy to think that one of those centers, powers over 100,000 homes. And who knows, how many of those freaking big centers are even out there. But it's just, that's why the light bill is so freaking high. Well, it's getting high in places, with concentrated data centers, I've seen like places like Virginia, their light bill has gone up 200 and I think 67%. Gotcha. No, but for real, like actually 200 and like 60 something percent. But yeah, like dude, could you imagine? Like you're paying $100 one day, and then it goes up freaking 260% or whatever, and then now you're paying like I don't know what $400 or so. Because they wanted to build a data center next to you, bro. Like, bro. And then, bro, I gotta talk about, dude. I want to talk about the freaking the PC prices, man. Dude, I was lucky enough to actually build my PC like way like before it all started happening, man. Like the RAM crisis, the GPU crisis. Oh, I guess the GPU crisis has been going on because Nvidia they don't like making GPUs apparently. They only like it if it says AI on it, But dude, I got my RAM. Same exact RAM. I got G-Skill Trident Z-Royal, right? 32 gig, CL30, 6,000 meg. And I bought it for 100 and I think I want to say $30, $130 I think. Same exact spec. I looked it up on Newegg. Dude, it is like $700, bro. $700. And storage too. I don't know what happened. I think storage is getting crazy too, because I got a Crucial P310, and I got a 2 terabyte, and I bought it for 100. I think it was also 120. I want to say 120. And I looked it up the other day, and it's $270. Same exact spec, same everything. Like, well, yeah, I literally built my PC. I think 2 or 3 months before the whole RAM thing even started. So I'm like that freaking meme with like the airplane and he's flying away from like the big explosion behind him. But that's literally I was like, man, I'm glad I pulled the trigger on my PC because geez, man, the prices, dude, getting a personal computer nowadays, it's like you might as well just get a pre-built at this point, man. And even then it's probably going to have 16 gig just because RAM is so scarce now, man. Like And it's all to make tralala tralala, bro. Like Tum Tum Sahur on top, dog. It's 2 sticks of RAM cost $900 because Tum Tum Sahur, dog. And then, man, another thing too is how they say so much about how AI like is supposed to better our lives, and yet to me, it's only felt like it's only gotten worse, man. Like just, so much things are a lot more expensive, and obviously that is not all attributed to AI, but it just there's so many things that go into it that I just don't have the expertise to really go in on it like that. But it does not feel like it has bettered my life like at all. I know for sure, like probably some a lot of the tech people, it's probably well for all the people who got laid off, it's not better their life. But I know, but there's probably a lot of people who code and things like that, and where it's a lot easier on them, so it actually has improved their lives. But like a regular Joe Schmo like me, dog, I ain't using this, man. Like I don't. I've only used ChatGPT once, and that was to like I forgot what I was looking up, dude. Like I don't even remember. But of course, I've only used it like one time, and I don't even remember what it was for. So, did that improve my life? I cannot tell you. I probably could have just got that off Google, man. But it feels like it's only made it worse. And with all the build outs and things that they want to do with it, it doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better, man. And also, dude, what is up with Sam Altman, bro? This dude, I feel like I see something every single day about what like he's talking about. Like this guy is literally a supervillain, bro. Like I think I seen the other day he was comparing. Let me see. He was comparing the efficiency of AI and like how it's like it's like the same as it takes 20 years, right, for you to feed a human and get them to be smart. So this dude is literally comparing like human life to he's comparing human life like 20 years old to freaking AI, bro. Like, and has saying how it's more efficient if we use all these resources on AI instead of raising a 20-year-old dog. This dude has completely lost the plot, bro. And I think somebody actually did the math and found that if you take said 20-year-old and then you take what they like if they invent something or they find some new discovery and whatnot, that 20-year-old is actually like 1,000 times or 100 times more efficient than AI. So so his argument falls through the roof, man. But to even say that, it's just crazy because it's like it completely shows that he is so like embedded in like efficiency that he's just disregarding human life. He's like, we should use these resources for the machine, and why would we use it on people? It takes so long, right? It takes so long to raise a child. Like we don't need that. Like, do you even hear yourself, man? Literal supervillain, dude. And another thing I want to touch upon too is AI artwork, man. Artwork and AI. This one hits me kind of like big because I know a lot of people in my life who are artists, and obviously it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, and it's a passion for a lot of people. And there's people out here who are using AI for the artwork and then calling themselves artists, which is obviously is just it's typing in a prompt and seeing what you get. And it's been stealing a lot of artwork. Like I know what a notable one is how the way Studio Ghibli makes their stuff, and then AI was straight up like blatantly copying it. Like it's insane, man. And the fact that too that the AI artwork is actually like taking a couple jobs, like it's taking jobs that a regular person can just draw up. Like I'd rather have it drawn by a human than seeing an AI image. Like I think a good example is how Marvel was using some AI posters and such. And what's up with companies too using like AI ads? Like for them, it saves them money or whatever, but it just makes me not want to go and get that thing. Like, I know Chipotle's been using a lot of AI ads. I know Coca-Cola was using an AI ad. Like, dude, and when I see AI ads, I'm just like, no. Like, I already have a resentment towards AI. So if I see an ad with, said AI, I'm not going to want to buy your product. Like, it's not making me be like, oh my God, look at this product. No, dude, I'm gonna look at it, get mad and be like, no, I'm not buying that crap. Like, you take no effort or any kind of thing to get my attention. All you did was pay the advertiser, and so you can throw it up on there. Like, put some effort into the product and into the ad, and I may go and buy it. But you blatantly straight up using AI to make your ad, I'm not gonna want to buy it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think another big thing too is the use of like mass surveillance with AI. Like, I know a big topic is Palantir, which I'm gonna briefly touch on this because I don't know too much about the like Palantir and what they do. I know they've been using like some military things, but a big thing I want to talk about though about the master surveillance AI is how it like it's been capturing people's faces and such and whatnot, and the whole ID thing as well. Like they get a lot of ID information about how people look and all that, and AI has been being used to identify people, and a lot of it tries to do the facial recognition and all that, and a lot of people have been like, I know it's being used in like some police work, and a lot of the time, well, I don't know if it's a lot of the time, but I know sometimes it does not get it right. And then these people, they get swatted, they get their houses broken into with the freaking police showing up. And it turns out it's because the AI got it wrong. Like, it got the wrong guy. Like, it went through the whole database and whatever and said, oh, it's this guy. It just wanted to give an answer. And then it ends up, falsely accusing a lot of people. And it just sucks because, you're just minding your business one day and then boom, all of a sudden you got freaking 10 cops around your house and they're breaking in. And it's because the freaking AI was like, it's this guy, like, because it didn't have enough data to really, or maybe you weren't even in the system yet. So it didn't know what you look like, or it just tried to find the closest person to whoever it was. And then it pops you up, and there you go. And then the last thing I'm gonna talk about is AI schlop. Man, as much they say AI does, it there's a lot of crap. Like, you see it on Instagram all the time with these AI videos, and they're all just like trash, dude. Like, like the whole Italian the memes that were going around with Assassinino, Cappuccino, and Tralala Tralala and all that. Literally, dude, all that, all the water, all the energy, all the resources to make this, bro. Like, it just feels like such a waste. And I feel like there's like way more of that than there is actually improving people's lives. And obviously it just sucks. But I feel like that's all I've got for today, man. I know it was a lot, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. And let me know you guys' thoughts about AI and how tired of it you are as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace. Well, actually, not peace yet. Go man, comment, like, and sub. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.